and said pretty much, hey, we are hopping in the car and driving to Vegas. He didn't ask any questions and he was ready to go. So almost exactly a year ago, I was talking to CubeSolveHero as usual, and he let me know that him and I were invited to go and meet his current contact at GAN at the time to kind of hang out with them at CES and just have a general meeting. Typically, I go to China a couple of times a year to do this, but figured, man, Vegas is only 4 hours away from me, so what better opportunity than hopping on a 16-hour flight. So I definitely was pretty eager at the chance, and also the concept of going to CES seemed pretty interesting. So I said, sure, get me some details and we'll see what happens. Well, surprisingly, it all kind of fell together quicker than I expected. And pretty much I woke up to a message from GAN saying, hey, just letting you know, we were able to get you into CES. So if you want to come out and be at our booth, pretty much you'll be here today. So it was like 8 in the morning, and I'm thinking to myself, like, kind of a bummer because it's extremely short notice, because I wasn't too sure if I was going to go if I couldn't get into CES, or, it was a pretty busy time, as the beginning of the year typically is, but we decided to go. I called our graphics and editor guy, Carlos, and said pretty much, hey, we are hopping in the car and driving to Vegas. He didn't ask any questions and he was ready to go, and we were in the car probably within that half hour. CubeSolveHero pretty much booked a flight on the spot and was scheduled to fly in that evening as well. So we had this whole just randomly orchestrated plans that literally the night before I had no idea were going to be happening. So Carlos is driving all the way to Vegas. I'm in the car working on my laptop, and we get there. I am just extremely exhausted. CubeSolveHero is pretty tired, so we go and pick him up at the airport, and we go to pick up GAN from their day at CES. So this is where the fun starts. If you guys have ever been to Las Vegas, you know how congested the strip can be when there's, like peak traffic time, and especially during an event like CES. So everything is going super smoothly. We've been right on time, and Carlos and myself are in the car going to pick up GAN and to rendezvous with CubeSolveHero while he was kind of getting ready for the dinner. And everything is going great, and we roll up to the venue, and just cars are everywhere. And if you guys have a driver's license and you've used like Google Maps, you would know that sometimes the navigation results come up like really, really last minute. So we were coming up on this left turn, and I remember Carlos and I were going back and forth like, is it this street or is it the one after? Because of course it was the one street that was under construction, and like the signs were taken off or whatever, and you had to be like a Vegas native to know where you were going. So pretty much the decision was made pretty easy for me, because I got cut off by a car and was forced to continue straight onto the second left-hand turn. Well, it of course was the wrong turn. So had I made the first left turn, I would have been within probably a minute at the front of CES, picked up GAN, and everything would have been great. But no, I decided to go the back route, which then resulted in about a 45-minute just gridlock of traffic of everybody trying to get in and out of CES. It was a nightmare to say the least. So I tell GAN, hey, we are literally down the street. Like, I can see the entrance, but we're stuck in this traffic. So if you want, walk over to the car. I'm in a bright orange Subaru, can't miss it. And we'll pick you up, and at least we can chat in the car and then head out. So this turned into them activating their like location tracking. You can send like your location through their phone. And so they were trying to coordinate with our location. We were trying to coordinate with them. So of course in Vegas, usually I'm the only bright orange Subaru around, and there were, I guess, multiple between that and the taxi at the time, and they were tired. So pretty much we played this game of like cat and mouse of trying to find them for, I don't know, like I said, about 45 minutes. Finally, I pull into a gas station, get out, I leave Carlos in the car. I'm like, just man the car, and if you see them, just wave like a crazy person. So I'm like walking through this traffic trying to find them. Of course, I like walked right past them somehow, And they get to Carlos before Carlos gets to me. Carlos calls me, hey, they're at the car, we're good. So I go back thinking, like, I'm a very anxious person as it is. So I was finally just like coming down from it. GAN was exhausted, rightfully so. I mean, I know that those events are taxing. So he's literally like asleep in the back seat of my car. And then we have Oliver in the back seat also, and we're just talking about how the event was and everything. So we go pick up CubeSolveHero and go to have a nice dinner, and everything's great. And we're talking about, the GAN 356i Play had just come out at that time. So we got our samples in person, which was kind of a cool experience to be handed the cube versus receiving it in a box. And we finished our dinner. It was a great night. Showed GAN and his crew all around Vegas, kind of walked the strip a little bit. And they were beat, took him back to their hotel. And we just walked down the strip pretty much, cubing and just seeing all of the weird sights that were out at that time. So come the next day, we again try to go into CES to rendezvous at their booth and hang out, when unfortunately, I guess there was an issue with our credentials. So we only had one pass. I decided to let Carlos go because he's the tech guy. And CubeSolveHero and I just decided to go and have a night out or a day out on the city. And I really wanted to go to a place called the Boiling Crab, which is my all-time favorite restaurant. And he convinced me to go to Gordon Ramsay Burger, which I always give him a hard time about this because it obviously wasn't the food, but literally within about 3 minutes of me finishing my burger, I was spending a lot of time in the bathroom, to say the least. And it was a good way to end off the day, though. Once I got out of the bathroom, we just kind of walked around and hung out and, talked about cubing, made some content, and just kind of hung out for a while. So ultimately, it was a very nice end and to a crazy few days. And I remember on the way back in the car, Carlos and I were laughing, telling each other, like, how do we even end up here in Vegas? I mean, like, who would have thought that when we woke up yesterday morning, we would be in Las Vegas for a couple of days? So definitely being a spontaneous person, always enjoy those random kind of stories, and it was really fun. And again, if you're watching this, it was a pleasure to show you guys around Vegas, and I hope you guys enjoyed your time in the States, GAN and company. So that's the time that we met GAN in Vegas, and I almost died from Gordon Ramsay Burger. Thank you all for watching. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Head over to speedcubeshop.com if you're looking for a new speed cube, twisty puzzle, lubricant, accessory, or just about anything else speed cubing related. Hope to see you in the next video. Thanks again.